Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless podcast. This will be for Wednesday, January 29th, I believe. Going off of memory, might not be the proper date, but that's the proper day. So Kobe Bryant has passed away. Man, what a crazy week. So I was, this last weekend, I went up to Chehalis. Well, I was up in Seattle, Washington. Excuse me. I went up to Washington to do Chehalis Theater. Got up to Washington Thursday. My buddy Tyler Smith, friend of the podcast, who runs the Dope Show, he had a Dope Show in Portland, Oregon. I'll get to Kobe. I'm just kind of retracing my steps of the weekend and then how I found out about Kobe and where I was and everything. So Friday, I went with Tyler down to Portland, Oregon. He has his dope show that he does, which is comics go up. They do 10 minutes of material. Then they come off stage. They get high off marijuana. And then they go back up on stage and try and perform high, different set. My buddy Trix was headlining it. And I've been, like the last month, I've been with Trix almost like, seems like every week. So we went down there. I surprised Trix, did the show, sold some merch. That was great. And then Saturday, we did the Chehalis Theater. Tyler featured for me my buddy Mike Coletta, another friend of the podcast, Hug Life Podcast. He hosted, and then I was closing it out. And that show was amazing. I mean, that audience got, from top to bottom, an amazing show. I mean, you basically have three headliners. Mike Coletta hosting, who... Mike Colette is a headliner, but he hosted, and he is such good energy, like as a host. I mean, he's very. I mean, his fucking podcast is called Hug Life. You know, he's very upbeat and high energy and so likable. So he's like an awesome, perfect host. And Tyler was featuring, and both Mike and Tyler just ripped it. I mean, I'm in the back, and you're like, holy shit, they're crushing, you know, and then. I went up, did my set, had a good set, happy with it. I also, in the middle of the set, I threw in my new story joke about going out with a trans woman. It was weird. Like, it did okay, but at the end, like, I hit a final line, and I don't know if people just didn't get it or what, but not much of a reaction. And then I took a beat, and I was like, yeah, so that was my date with a trans woman. And then that got like in a big applause break and like laughter. And so I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, let's move on because I am confused. So did that Saturday night. We drove back from Chehalis. Also Friday when we did the Dope Show, we drove back that night from Portland, Oregon. And it was like raining and everything. And so Tyler was like white knuckling it the whole way back from Portland. Saturday did the Chehalis show, came back to his place. And then Sunday, my flight was at, I think, 11:30 Pacific time. Get on the plane, and I'm on Southwest, best airline. Love you, Southwest. Shout out. 2 bags, checked, free. But I'm on the plane, and I'm with Southwest. You get, like, free TV. You can watch live TV and shit like that. So I was looking at they also have movies you can watch for free, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to watch. So I'm scrolling through the channels, and I see on one of the news channels, CNN or something, I see helicopter crash in Calabasas. Let me get rid of this hat. So I was like, but that's all I saw. I don't think it mentioned Kobe yet. So it just said helicopter crash Calabasas, and it showed the helicopter smoke and fire and all that. So I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks. That's sad. Whatever. Not whatever, but you get what I mean. Keep flipping through the channels. Then I see Kobe Bryant picture side by side with the live footage of the helicopter, and I'm like, what? And so I read, and then it says Kobe Bryant. I was like, what the fuck is this? Kobe Bryant dies in helicopter crash. And I don't even know like how to explain what I was feeling. So I immediately bought the Wi-Fi. Like, that was the free Wi-Fi, was to be able to get the news and live TV. I immediately paid for full Wi-Fi. So now I'm on social media and I'm reading everything and I'm verifying that this is really happened. And I was like, there's no way. The only thing I can equate it to is I remember where I was at this point, and it's so, people are like, I think a lot of us have this same feeling, and then we also say it's so crazy that a person we've never met, a sports person, affected us this much. But I remember where I was when Magic Johnson made the announcement. I think I was still in high school, but I was living with my pops, 1-bedroom apartment down the street from Wilson High School. And I was in my room with John Eichler, my buddy John, and the news conference came on, and we were like, "Oh, what's this about?" And we're watching it, and then Magic announced he had HIV. And back then, like at that time when that was announced, that's him saying, "I'm dying. I'm going to die." It wasn't like, "Oh, he has this treatable thing," because at the time, like if you had HIV or AIDS, that was like a death sentence. So he was basically announcing, "Hey guys, I'm letting you know I have HIV and I'm going to die." That's how we kind of took it, and we were just stunned. So with the Kobe thing, I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. It just doesn't. The guy who's so like alive. And not to try and be funny, but like he just had like in interviews and everything, he was living life. He had such an energy, to him. So I'm flying, and I'm still reading all this stuff, and then I start hitting people up through like Facebook Messenger and stuff, like, what what is this legit? Is this real? And it's crazy. It's crazy how much it sits with you. I talked to my friend Mark Gonzalez. Gonzo has been on the podcast. He is one of, if not the most diehard Lakers fan I know, and Kobe, both. Like, he loves Kobe, which was crazy because the day before, when LeBron passed Kobe, he posted the picture of them together, and he's like, congrats. And then he would always put, like, anytime he'd have something to LeBron's, because he's a Lakers fan, he would always put, still not Kobe. That's how much he loves Kobe, And I talked to Gonzo, and he was obviously really shook up, really affected him, understandably. He went down to the Staples Center, and where everybody was like remembering Kobe and paying their respects. And I was telling Mark, it's crazy because, like, I'm a diehard Celtics fan, been a Celtics fan always, and I like in 2008, I went to multiple playoff games as the Celtics. I was at the playoff game when the Celtics beat the Cavs, and LeBron and Pierce had that crazy game where I think LeBron scored in the 40s and Pierce was pretty close to matching him. And I was at the final game when the Celtics beat the Lakers. I was at that game in Boston where KG, anything is possible, and they dumped the Gatorade on Doc Rivers there on the court. And I was telling Mark, it's you have players you hate because they're rivals. Jordan was the same with the type of hate I had for them. It's like I had to hate them by default because they were on an opposing team. But I also always kind of liked him. Like, there's something about Kobe that maybe it's a respect thing, but you always kind of were like, man, if you just imagine if he was with the Celtics, always loved watching him, and you would just be like against him. You're like, oh fuck, man, here we go, here goes Kobe, but. Yeah, and then when we beat them, it was the best that we beat the Lakers, beat Kobe's Lakers in Boston, and not only beat the shit out of them. I mean, the Celtics crushed them, and that was the best. And I guess that also goes back again to how much you respect Kobe and his game and the teams he plays on. I mean, I get it. It's the same thing with Brady. People hate Brady, and I get it. Obviously I love him because he plays for my team, but if you step back and I'm like, how can you not respect what he's done? So when people are like, fuck Brady and this and that, I'm like, I get it. I've had the same feelings towards, players in the past. And Kobe, though, is, man, it's just, and then when the reports come out that his daughter was on there too, and I think originally it said that there was like 5 people on the plane, on the helicopter. Then you hear it's 9, and, and he was going to his daughter's game. They were taking the helicopter. It's brutal, dude. I'm trying to, with comedy, or my social media stuff, trying to post something every day, but like, man, Sunday when it happened, and Monday just wasn't really feeling funny, or trying to be funny. So Sunday I just posted a picture of Kobe. I think it was a picture of him when they beat the Celtics in I think 2009 or 10, and then yesterday I posted Kobe's speech. That was, man, it's almost like spooky, because it's he's like, I'm sorry I can't be there. I wanted to talk to you, and it's like he's speaking to you from the grave, which is, it's like I said, it's kind of spooky, but it's, like I said, I wasn't feeling like, oh, let me try and make some funnies. I just wanted to pay respects to Kobe. And then, then you see all these, not all these, you see some comics, all low-hanging fruit jokes, and some comics that it's not even jokes, they're just saying stupid shit, which I'll never tell a comic he can't say something, or that he shouldn't say something, or whatever. I guess I'm more upset that most of the shit's just not funny. Plus, most of it's also hacky. It's like, dude, everybody's doing the same joke, and it's like, have an original take, and also, like, I get, it's never too soon. I'm conflicted, I go back. The comic side of me is like, say whatever you want, whenever you want, all that. But then I'm like, dude, the guy and his daughter died, 7 other people died in the thing. I'm like, a day? You can't give it a day? A day before you start doing these stupid jokes, So, I don't know. It was crazy watching it. Sorry, I had to take care of that. I don't know. So, rest in peace, Kobe. I'd say top 5 ever laced it up. Maybe top 3. It's pretty nuts. They're talking about changing the NBA logo to a Kobe silhouette, which I think it's it's time to change. The game's changed anyways. Why have some old white dude? No disrespect to Jerry West, but it's an old white dude dribbling up the court, or a white dude dribbling up the court. The game has evolved so much since then. Let's get something change it up. Even if it wasn't Kobe, if it was Jordan or whoever, or nobody. But I think let's change it up. It would be a nice tip of the hat to Kobe, though. Man, it's just crazy. I think it's just because, again, he's young, and he was doing so much outside of after sports, and yeah, man, it sucks. It's sad. It's very sad. But on a lighter note, is this where I make jokes? No. So yeah, that's been dealing with that while and watching everything, and that's brutal. So yeah, what else do I want to touch on? Other than that, talked to Phil. I talked to Phil while I was up in Seattle briefly. He was going to come out to, I think, the Chehalis show with Tyler and I, but then He something with work. He couldn't get out of work, or he had something come up with work, so he couldn't do it. So didn't get a chance to see Phil. Talked to him briefly. He's still working through his thing. And I'll keep you guys updated as I get info. Other than that, this will probably be a pretty brief one. I just wanted to talk on the Kobe thing, and I guess give my plugs now. I'm not sure. I'm either going to be here in Phoenix for the weekend, or I may be going to Vegas. This comes out Wednesday, and by Wednesday night, I'll know for sure, which it'll be updated on my website. So just go to Big Irish J. Next weekend, though, I'll be in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Comedy Loft. It'll be my first time there. I'm looking forward to it. Pretty excited about it. And then, I got a bunch of dates. I'm pretty much booked through June, I think, every weekend somewhere. So you can go to bigirishj.com for dates. And, this will be a kind of a quick one today. Like I said, just kind of want to get my respects out there to Kobe. And that's it, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.